if your Chicago mayor doesn't want to help, he can step aside. But if he impedes us, if he knowingly harbors and conceals an illegal alien, I will prosecute him.
President-elect Trump's new border czar says mass deportation efforts will begin right here in Chicago and issues a warning to Mayor Johnson.
And that's not all. He had harsh words for others, the mayor, as well as Governor J.B. Pritzker.
Sylvia Perez joins us now with more.
Yeah, his name is Tom Homan, and he's Trump's hand-picked man for border czar. He recently spoke at a Northwest Side GOP holiday party that you just saw and told the crowd he plans on verifying the status of asylum seekers and, as you heard, arresting anyone who is found harboring migrants who they are looking for, including Chicago's own mayor. He called out both Johnson and Governor Pritzker, saying he wants to meet with them, but the invitation came with some harsh words.
Chicago's in trouble because your mayor sucks and your governor sucks.
Now, we spoke with Chicago Alderman Ray Lopez, who met with Homan privately. He says the messaging may have been too harsh, but Pritzker and Johnson should be working with the federal government to deport migrants who are breaking the law.
If you are here and undocumented and trying to go about your business, then let's figure something out. But if you are here choosing to engage in gang activity, murder, drugs, prostitution, human trafficking, or sex crimes against minors, then absolutely, your number has come.
Governor Pritzker's office had this to say about Homan's comments. It is no secret that Illinois will face countless baseless attacks over the next 4 years from the Trump administration. Rather than responding to every ridiculous boast from Trump lackeys, Governor Pritzker is focused on what he was focused on during the first Trump term, leading our state with competence instead of chaos. Homan, by the way, was acting director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement during Trump's first administration and is known as the architect of the Trump administration's zero tolerance policy.
Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. The video that I'm dropping tonight is, as you can see, there seems to be some pushback in Chicago by the mayor and the governor over Tom Homan's position when Trump comes into the White House and starts putting this country back together, okay? Especially places like Chicago, where the citizens have been complaining for so long to their mayors and their governors that they don't want the illegal immigration where they're at. They don't want it at all. They want it to stop. But it seems that the Chicago mayor and governor, okay, rather run Chicago like they're two damn mob bosses, okay, and just push the citizens to the side and cater to the Biden-Harris regime of trying to basically change the demographics, okay, of Illinois, okay, as a whole, and not caring how caring about the repercussions of so many illegal immigrants coming into this country, what it's doing, not only to the people in Chicago and, like I said, all of Illinois, but also to the people around the country, okay? But it's no surprise, okay? We know this. We know that this is what Gavin Newsom's doing, Kathy Hochul, Eric Adams, the mayor and governor of Colorado, Oregon, Pennsylvania. The list just goes on and on and on, okay? A couple of things that I want to pull from this one segment, okay, is just the straight up ignorance, okay, and lack of leadership that the governor has, okay. How this man doesn't get kicked out is beyond me. You know, I understand that a lot of people in Chicago and in all the other states that I mentioned, they have been fighting tooth and nail to basically air their grievances, but it's getting to the point that they really want these officials out. And it just seems that no matter how many people are banding together, okay, how many classes of people, it doesn't matter what race, whatever the case is, it just seems like these people stay in power because they choose to stay in power, not because they're following the rule of law, Okay, because if the rule of law was being followed, I guarantee you all these people will be out of a job. And it also seems as if I had to guess, in all honesty, that the Democratic regime that's in power now, they are helping these people stay in power. It has nothing to do with the voters. Okay? Because something tells me right now, if all the voters in all these blue states that truly wanted these people out, if they had a recount and they will come out on top, that Biden and Kamala would do something with the officials where they would stay in power regardless. And I say that because of what happened with the recall with Gavin Newsom a few years ago in California, where only like 39% of the votes were being counted so far during that recount election, and they had already called it for him, never giving anybody a chance to wait till it got to 50%, 70%. No, right away they already knew that he was going to win it, where a lot of people in California were very upset. Now, the people in Chicago, I mean, they have been just basically going after Johnson tooth and nail, and this man just still stands in front of all the people that are against him and make it seem as if, you know what, everything is fine, I'm not leaving, just basically go about your business, because what you have to say doesn't matter. Okay? His attitude and the governor's attitude is our agenda supersedes your rights as American citizens. And this is the making, not only the making, these are the earmarks of dictatorship. Okay? So much that the left and the Democrats say that Donald Trump wants to run this country like a dictator, that the people that he's putting in power, okay, are no good for the country. But look at what they're doing. Okay? It's not like if Donald Trump and the people that he's putting into his administration are out there making speeches or just going on TV and saying things while 90% of the country, especially in the blue states, are putting out information against what Donald Trump is saying. Okay? No, it's the other way around. Okay? More and more people from these blue states are going against the Democrat leaders and siding with Trump, but yet these Democrat officials totally ignore it and keep trying to spin the narrative around. Case in point, I'm going to go back just a little bit, okay, so you guys can see what supposedly the governor said. Okay, right away he has to try to draw a narrative. Okay, without Trump even being in office yet, already he's trying to draw a narrative, but yet this man has done nothing but for Chicago but destroy it, and for Illinois for that matter. Okay, he says it's no secret that Illinois will face countless baseless attacks. He already starts it off like that. Okay, over the next 4 years from the Trump administration, Trump is not attacking you, okay, on baseless attacks, okay, on baseless claims. No, it's the people that are speaking out, and Donald Trump is backing the people's play. That's what's going on. Okay? He goes on to say, rather than responding to every ridiculous boast from Donald Trump lackeys, so you're telling me that the Democrat voters in Chicago and Illinois, they're Donald Trump lackeys? I mean, they're the ones that have been going to Brandon Johnson, to the community meetings, to the City Hall Council meetings, basically every single chance they get to air their grievance. They're the ones that have been coming out telling you and Johnson, you guys are no good, the aldermans are no good, nobody's doing a good job, we don't want the illegal immigrants anymore in our communities, in our state, stop what you're doing. Okay? But yet, this man, okay, like the dictator that he is, wants to start off with something like that. He then goes on to say, he says, Governor Pritzker is focused on what he was focused on during the first Trump term. I'd like to know exactly what it was that he was focused on, because when Trump was president, I believe Rahm Emanuel, if I remember his name correctly, was the mayor of Chicago. That was a disaster. Where even Trump offered, okay, to bring in the National Guard or send in help where they can patrol the streets and clean it up. And that man said, no, we got it under control. And then Lori Lightfoot came in. That was still a disaster. That was under Trump. Okay. Trump is out. Biden comes in. Johnson comes in. And he's doing a way worse job than Lori Lightfoot. So exactly what is it, okay, that this man or whoever was in charge in Chicago and in all of Illinois, what exactly were they focused on during the first Trump term? Because he's over here saying leading our state with competence instead of chaos. Excuse me, but I don't know what freaking rock this man has been under, but it's like there have been hundreds of killings in Chicago since 2016. Not to mention probably thousands of just shootings. Okay? And then what else you want to put on top of that? Oh, the gang violence, the drugs, the home break-ins. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. You know, and sadly, this is one of the things that I find sad. That the citizens, okay, not all of them, but a big majority of the citizens in Chicago, they consider Chicago, they call it Chirac, as if Iraq, just Chicago, Iraq, Chirac, because of the chaos. And yet this man wants to come with his fat ass, smug attitude, making it seem like, oh, you know what? We know we're going to have a tough time the next 4 years because of Trump's rhetoric. Wait a minute. As opposed to what other years that you're not having a hard time? You know? Trump is over here backing your constituents' play because you're not doing it. Neither is Johnson. Neither did Lori Lightfoot. Neither did Rahm Emanuel. Nobody in Chicago, and these aldermen's the same. Nobody is backing the tax-paying American citizens' play. Okay? So now that they're coming out saying we're done with the Democrat Party, okay? We want a new leadership. We want Trump to come in and his people and start fixing up Chicago, start deporting every illegal, not just the criminals that are committing crimes, all of them, because even if the ones that are they're not committing crimes, they're still putting a financial stress and burden on the taxpayers. They want it to stop completely. Not what that alderman just said a few minutes ago about, oh, if you're a criminal, of course we're going to get you out. But if you came here illegally, we're going to try to do something to work with you. No, it's not about working with them. Why are you people not listening? Okay, this is not about being complacent. This is not about not having first-hand knowledge. The people are speaking. It's not that they spoke. They already spoke. That whole term, just get rid of it. They are still speaking. They want nothing, not one damn thing to do with any more illegals coming in and or keeping any more illegals in Chicago, in Illinois, where it's going to cost the taxpayers money. What they are basically saying is, round them all up and send them back and stay out of Tom Homan's way. Stay out of Trump's way. I mean, I just find it so damn incredible. Okay? It's the same narrative that Eric Adams and Kathy Hochul are pulling. They want to play ball with Trump now because they want to stay in power. And they're like, yeah, we'll help you get rid of the illegal criminals, yeah. But, you know, the other ones, no, it's not about, yeah, you know, the other ones. No, the people are talking. They want them all gone. whether they're here committing crimes or not. Okay? I mean, but then you're going to have people on the left saying, well, if you get rid of all the illegals, okay, how is that going to lower prices? How is that going to lower rent? How is that going to do this? How is that going to do that? Well, let's just take the rent issue for one. You take 10,000 people and stick them in a community, okay, where there's about, let's say, 30,000 people. Let's say that's only about 1,000 apartments in that whole community that are for rent. Now you got the government, the Biden regime, sticking those 10,000 illegals in that community, okay? There's still people that are from that community looking to rent out apartments, okay? But then the government steps in, goes and gives the illegals rent vouchers that are double or triple the amount of what the apartment is worth. So the greedy landlords go and wind up renting to them because they're getting government money. So now you have the 1,000 Americans that they don't have a shot at those apartments. That's just one instance of how illegal immigration affects communities. It doesn't take a damn rocket scientist to figure that out. Whereas if you didn't have, okay, the extra 10,000 illegals in that community, those same crooked landlords would know of the 1,000 American citizens in that community that are looking for apartments. They know they're not getting government subsidies, so they have to keep the rent market low so they can rent those out. You see how that works? And I'm not even a damn real estate agent. Okay? That's just one instance. Then we're going to leave at that because there's a lot more I need to show you guys. Okay? But before I do, a couple of quick things. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe. Pass the channel around. As far as like the video that I showed you yesterday, it's a big mess with that video. It's out, but I'm fed up with the whole monetization and all that. No response yet from YouTube to find out about a couple of things that I wrote them about. I'll get to everybody's comments from last night when I get a chance. And just remember, put your notifications on. Give the videos a thumbs up, okay? Pass the channel around. Let's get this algorithm up and going. Because as if anybody has seen what I put out last night, there just seems to be something going on where I'm not getting that many views. And from the comments to the emails that I'm getting, I'm not understanding how I'm not getting the views. Okay? Let's just leave it at that. Okay? But with all that being said, let's go and see what citizens of Chicago are saying and how they feel. Here we go.
You so strong about protecting those aliens, but you won't do nothing for the U.S. citizens. You are going down in history as the worst mayor in America. Our mayor is embarrassing us, y'all, around the world. And you all took the power back from him to say the city of Chicago is out of the business of funding illegals. We are out of the business of prioritizing non-American citizens on top of the American citizens who go out in this cold weather every day to make money to pay their taxes.
Exactly.
Chicago residents righteously and justifiably angry, hammering the Democrat mayor of Chicago, Johnson, as the worst in America. Democrats in the Biden White House literally turned Chicago into ground zero of their border collapse and illegal alien crisis. But Democrats want black and minority voters to pay for the crime, pay for the free giveaways with higher taxes. Taxes are already at a 3-decade high in Chicago. Joining us now, one of those residents you just saw, Chicago resident Danielle Carter Walters. Danielle, it's such a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us again. Can you please explain to the viewer how bad is crime in Chicago? Just sit tight. We're hearing stories in just 2 weeks, 13 people shot, a police officer shot, 1 person killed, 8 people shot last week, now confirmed to be Venezuelans, likely illegals. We have a story. A Chicago woman came back from Thanksgiving, found 2 migrants in her home with a gun. What is going on?
Let me jump into this real quick. You know, it's funny that all this just happened, all right? Donald Trump is the president-elect. He's not in the White House, okay? But yet, the governor's statement of saying, of getting Chicago back in place and not having to deal with the chaos is like, you are in place now, okay? And there's still chaos, okay? What in the hell are you talking about? It's the same narrative with Kamala Harris. Over here promising that if she became president, she was going to do things different. It's like, but you are the vice president now, and you're working with the president, and you're not doing anything. It is the same song and dance with the Chicago governor and the Chicago mayor. We're going to do this, 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 and this, but we're going to get some blowback, and we're going to get all kinds of nonsense being talked about Trump when we're trying to fix things. You can't even fix it now. And you're projecting about what might be said in the future that's going to hinder you guys from making things better? No, you guys are the problem.
It's very bad, very bad. And Brandon Johnson has the nerves to say that the numbers are down. He just touted that in an interview. The numbers are up. Do not listen to this lying mayor. Crime is very bad, and especially when you're dealing with now illegal alien crime.
What kind of crimes are we talking about? Is it home invasions? Is it retail theft? Can you spell out the crimes? And are you worried about the city's children?
Yes, so the retail theft is really, really, really bad. And also just the gang violence. Now we have Venezuelan gangs, Trendiagua here, and you gotta understand, they're going against the black gangs that's here in our neighborhood. So you put 70,000 illegal aliens and you dump them into the black neighborhood, and then what you expect? Of course, crime is going to go up, violence, shootings, carjackings. Exactly, that's what's happening.
You know, Danielle,
and he's not reporting on it.
He's not reporting all that. You know,
No.
Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, was in Chicago last night. He said Chicago will be ground zero for mass deportations. Do you think Chicago and state Democrats are going to go along with that?
They don't have a choice. And actually, I met Tom Homan yesterday. He looked at me, he said, I know you. So yes, he's a very, very nice guy. But they have no choice. Because like we said, we're behind Tom Homan and President Trump. So if Brandon Johnson tries to stop him or Pritzker, we are for locking them up.
There you go.
Please make an example out of them. And that's exactly what I told Tom Homan yesterday. Chicago is behind you.
Yeah, the federal law is behind Tom Homan. Federal law says, and by the way, politicians, officials cannot interfere with the carrying out of federal law to do those deportations that Pew and Monmouth polls show voters demand. You know, property tax bills have already quadrupled in Chicago. They're already nearly up 20 to 30%.
Wow.
Black people are getting hit hard. The South Side is getting hit hard with tax increases. But the Chicago City Council, we're hearing they're going to meet this Friday. Are they talking?
Okay, I want to jump in real quick on this right here. It's a kind of a side note. You know, it's funny how the Democrats always talk about that the Republicans make it harder, okay, for the Black and Latino community to get like bank loans or whatever the case is, or they just make it harder for people of color, okay, to succeed in America because of all this, like, you know, systemic white racism and whatever the case is. But here you are, here are the receipts of how in the blue states, the blue communities, the taxes keep going up. Okay? And yet, they want your vote, saying that if you don't vote for them, your life is going to get harder under Republican rule. Okay? But here they are, giving the jobs to illegals, taking the taxpayer money to pay for the illegals, raising up taxes, not taking care of the crime. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It baffles my mind to this day, and I'll always say it. Until somebody can really stand there that thinks like this and gives me a good reason, it baffles my mind how this continues decade after decade, and yet a lot of people still vote Democrat. I'm not talking about the ones now that have woken up and are fed up with it. I'm talking about the ones that are still standing behind people like Brandon Johnson and Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom. I'm talking about those people that are still adamantly standing behind them. The voters that are standing behind them. Not their lackeys, not the ones that work in the office with them, okay, not the ones that are going out there because they're getting a little paycheck on the side and advocating for them. No, I'm talking about the ones that just hate Trump and the Republican Party so much that even in the face of all this, okay, that they're still going to say, it don't matter, I'm still voting for him. Please, if one of yous are watching this video, okay, that are totally Trump deranged, and no matter what the stats say, okay, explain to me, why would you keep voting Democrat? Okay, you want it to affect your life in a negative way? Fine. You live in misery. Why would you keep doing that in order to affect your neighbors' lives and not give a flying rat's ass? Let's continue.
Talking about raising everyone's taxes to pay for the illegal alien crisis and the free giveaways?
Of course they are. So right Friday, they will be voting on the 28 million because he proposed 300 million property tax hike. And now then 150, now 68 million. So Friday, I will be down there because this is what they're proposing, to raise our property taxes, all while still funding illegals, giving them free everything on our backs. And we are not having it.
Danielle, are they talking also about nickel and dime taxes, like raising taxes on streaming television, raising taxes on Uber rides, raising taxes on even water bottles? We are hearing Chicago needs water bottles because the tap water is so polluted. Is that all correct? Yeah. What's going on?
Yes. Bags, they're talking about taxing the bags. We already pay 7 cents for bag taxes, and now they're talking about 10 cents. So yes, streaming, exactly. The streaming is. So how are you going to keep trying to nickel and dime us to pay because you can't budget the city?
Yeah, or to stop this illegal alien crisis. It's so unfair. Yes. Wow, a dime now tax on grocery bags. Daniel Carter Walters, thanks for bringing it every time.
It's pathetic. It's totally pathetic. But you see, it's true that they're nickel and diming on everybody tax-wise. Just basically taxation without representation. Okay? Just finding ways to raise any little thing on their constituents, on their voters, on Americans, just so they can bring in more illegals, okay, and proceed with their agenda to change the demographics of this country. Okay? It's ridiculous. It's like, and to all you content creators out there, she mentioned something about streaming, okay? Now, if you to all you leftist content creators in Chicago, in Illinois, and all that are bad mouthing everybody but the people that believe like you, this is going to affect you too. Okay, this is going to affect the people that watch your garbage content. Okay, it's going to be hidden taxes on whatever internet service you have, whatever cable service you have, whatever it is. All the stuff she talked about streaming, that's what she's talking about. Anything that has to do with internet service. They are raising taxes, and to you it may seem like, oh, it's just a nickel. Okay? And it's not that it's just a nickel. It's just that it's taxation without representation. You're raising taxes, okay, one, against the people's will, and to do things with the money that the people that are paying it don't want. Okay? I mean, it's ridiculous. And like I said in the beginning of the video, for the governor to come out and say that they're focused on things that are going to work in Chicago, not the chaos, it's like that's all you keep implementing is damn chaos. That's it. Okay? And it's just beyond me. It truly, truly is beyond me how these people could just say this without, I mean, without a care in the world, you know, I used a thumbnail, okay, and I didn't edit that thumbnail as far as the picture. That was an actual picture that Johnson and what's his face, the governor, took together. Tell me they don't look like two mafia bosses. Just two, what they call two fat cats. Okay? Just lining their pockets, smiling it all away, lying to the people, not listening to the people, projecting everything they can on somebody else. Okay? Instead of hanging their heads in shame. And I'm glad this lady said that when Tom Homan comes in and he implements his job, okay, what he needs to do, that if Homan and, that if Johnson and what's his face try to step in, that they're going to stand behind Homan to get them arrested. The way she was saying people have to go to jail, I totally agree 100%. This is the kind of patriotism and Americanism that people need to stand by, that, you know what, if politicians, regardless on which side, if they don't do their job, if they keep going against the will of the people, okay, especially when it's costing people's lives, literally, okay, whether you're in Washington or you're just some low-tier community board member, whatever the case is, people need to be held accountable. People need to start going to prison. People need to start getting fired and kicked out, pushed out of politics. Okay? And I know that some people are going to say, well, what about the politicians that are against abortion? Listen, okay, we're not talking about that. Because I know that's what a lot of people on the left are going to start saying. What about transgender rights? What about abortion? Because that's the only two dead things you have to go on. And both those things do nothing but take life away and destroy minds. But I'm going to digress on that. That's a whole different topic. What I'm saying is that people need to start going to prison. And if not go to prison, they need to be shown, okay, to the masses. They need to lose their jobs in politics. In my opinion, there are way too many politicians. Anybody in this day and age, especially, okay, and more so if you're on the left, anybody could be a politician. You'll get a DEI government job in a heartbeat. Whether it's on the school board, whether it's in Washington, it doesn't matter. It truly doesn't matter. You'll get a job. You go along with the plan, you'll get a job. And it's like they're fighting themselves. One's more radical than the next. But it doesn't surprise me. Like I've always said, and I'll keep saying it, the Democrats, they contradict themselves and they eat themselves. Okay? And they don't care about anybody, whether it's an American or somebody from another country. They don't care. They only care about their agenda. Okay? Their agenda is beyond a dictatorship. But yet they want to project that on everybody else that's not on the left. Lest they forget, this country was founded, okay, on parties. Okay? The masses spoke. We've got two hardcore parties here. The independents and everything else, I mean, they don't have the votes. Democrats and Republicans vote. They fight for the votes from the other parties. Okay? This time, the party with the right answers won. And a lot of people on the left are seeing that, and they want that change. They want a better life. Whether you Democrats like it or not, or want it or not, it's not what you want. Okay? It's what the voters want. Plain and simple. But anyway, that's what I got for you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. And again, people, don't forget, check your subscriptions, check your notifications. If you don't get any of that, I'm going to read some of the comments when I upload this video. But one of the comments that I did read was by one of my subscribers saying that he hasn't gotten no notifications for any of my videos in the past few weeks. So check with the channel every day, every other day, to make sure I drop the video. If you see you didn't get a notification, but you got the video, let me know in the comments, so like that I can have all this on record, okay? And just keep trying to push out and try to get answers to see what's going on, and hopefully get this algorithm up and going, okay? So remember, people, stay vigilant, keep praying for each other, keep praying for the women and the children, pray for your enemies, pray for this country, and pray for Donald Trump. Peace.